I'm going to try to do something here. So Laura, bear with me. You're my guinea pig today. Keep saying that's private. Okay. You got to see my chin. Let me see. Okay, that's live. So it looks like we're computing there.
Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
Disconnect volume. There we go. And let me get rid of this camera. Oh my goodness. All right, let me go back here. This is challenging, guys, so forgive me. Oh my goodness, now I'm upside down on that screen. That's really funny. There we go. Okay, there's hope for me yet. There's hope for me yet. There is Miss Laura. Okay, I see her. I'm on here. Let me get the chat open on here so that we can work that way. And let me get the YouTube screen. Oop. This is crazy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having to go old school to make everything happen right now, and it is so bizarre. Let me get on here where we're live so I can see if anybody is messaging. And then we'll get rolling. This is a little more difficult than it normally would be, but all right. I don't know if this is making it onto YouTube or not. It said it was. Hey, Miss Laura, there you are. She's in her greenhouse and moving around. That's good. Oh, no, she's outside. I see where she's at now. Okay, well, I don't know what's happening here and how we're computing. I know I'm on Zoom. I don't know if I am officially on YouTube because I cannot see whether we are on here or not. Normally, when I would go on here, it would show me being live.
YouTube says the stream ended 67 or 64 seconds ago.
All right, refresh. I think you'll pull up the new one that says I'm live.
Okay.
3 watching. All right, we are computing. Deb is on YT. You remember old school stuff. I'm trying.
I got it.
This is nuts. Okay. Okay, so I think we are good here. Let me see. Now, we can maybe share this in the community. Let's just say that moving forward, things are going to go a lot smoother. I know they are. And the intention moving forward will be that we will share the link in the community so that others can join while we are live. But Laura, if you're able to pull that and do that, go for it. If not, this is the trial and error of new things. So let me just do this. I'm going to pause. I'm going to breathe. See my beautiful scenery? Is that not tranquil? I got to settle into that now because my day, I was supposed to do an interview, a homesteading and off-grid type interview, and 4 pieces of equipment were totally dysfunctional, unable to do anything. Internet froze, cell phone froze. So at first I thought the enemy was just keeping me from all of my tasks today, but maybe I wasn't supposed to do that particular interview. I'm not sure. It was very bizarre, but I'm on 2 weeks, 3 weeks now of extreme technology struggles. So I appreciate you all bearing with me. And I'm just going to pause and introduce myself for those of you that might be joining in on YouTube and you just found me by chance. My name is Tammy Trayer. I am a lover of Jesus. I live 100% off grid in North Idaho. I am an author and a writer. I am an integrative health practitioner. I am a certified breath worker. I educate on preparedness and off grid living, and I love life. I'm here broadcasting today because this is something I do weekly in my community. If you are new and would like to join us, you can go to faithledhealing.com/community. There are multiple options to join, including a free option. And I will be broadcasting live every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and just sharing tips and tricks and different things with you. I will be on for a half an hour. I will continue. I do a full hour in my community. So if you want to get the full hour with me, you can join the special access community and join me for the full hour. But you will walk away with a lot of nurturing, encouragement, inspiration, health and wellness tips, life tips. My mess has become my message. In 2016, I had life-saving surgery from breast implant illness. I am extremely open with that because I feel God took me on that journey to be able to help others and to be able to nurture others and help those following behind me. Laura, I can't do it. Is it possible that you could mute? I might be able to, but I can't figure it out on my phone. Thank you, sweet. I appreciate it. So I was taken on this journey. I was flat on my back for a year and have been on an 8-year healing journey. And through that time, especially that year on my back, I really became like this with Jesus. And there is great significance in that. So I wear my faith on my sleeve, literally and figuratively. And as God stepped me through my own healing journey, He led me down this path that I never, ever anticipated. And today we're going to talk about a couple things. I wasn't able to sleep last night. I woke up at 2:20, wide awake, and suddenly I was able to get on our community on my phone. I don't think that was coincidence. God has been guiding me to Ecclesiastes 3. And Miss Laura, that's joining me this morning, has also been led to share a challenge with everybody in our community with her walking. And the significance to that is that Laura hasn't been able to walk very far at all. She's been on a 20-year healing journey with autoimmune issues and chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, and it's been challenging. And for those of you that might be on a healing journey, you know what that's like: the brain fog, the debilitation, the lack of worth sometimes that we feel because we feel like, we can't contribute as we once did. And she's been challenging everybody and sharing that she is now able to walk, and she's the brain fog, the debilitation, the lack of worth sometimes that we feel because we feel like, we can't contribute as we once did. And there we go. Got it. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Oh, you know what? And that's my bad because I didn't set everybody to mute on entry. So I don't know if I can do that, but we'll worry about it later. Today is just one of those days. You know what? This is real life, guys. This is real life. Learn that you don't sweat it. Learn that you don't panic. Learn that you don't go bonkers because it's all going upside down and south. You just roll with it. And that's my biggest lesson for you today, is learning to roll with the punches, learning to roll with the hiccups, learning to roll when the enemy is fighting you, because I do believe the enemy is trying to keep me from being able to do what I am called to do. I had, like I said, 4 devices today that absolutely were dead in the water, to the degree that the rest of the family didn't want me touching theirs. It was just really bizarre. And their internet was working on their devices. Their cell phone was working on their devices, but all four of mine just totally dead. Not coincidence. It, and the enemy does try to thwart our efforts. And, that can be part of our healing journey too, because it keeps us in a place of feeling lack of worth, inability to do things, that we get stuck. And I noticed that Miss Laura shared something very beautiful this week, and I wanna touch on it if I can figure out how to find my saved posts. Oh, actually, I think I just found it. No, not yet. I will find it, but we're going to talk Ecclesiastes 3. The importance of Ecclesiastes 3 is this. Solomon in the Bible, in Ecclesiastes 1 and 2, was really evaluating. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a researcher. I'm an evaluator. I pay attention. I like to analyze things. And I know many of you do as well. And he's analyzing the world around him. He's analyzing life. He's analyzing the mood of people and God's grace and his gifts. And he was just analyzing everything. And in analyzing everything, I think this is also very true, especially in our world today. When you start analyzing what is going on in our world, it can be very depressing. It can be very saddening. It can be very disturbing. It can be very eye-opening. And that's all the things that Solomon was experiencing. And he started to hit this place of what sounded like depression and anxiety and just hopelessness. And, my family and I are on a different season this year. Our year started with a very abrupt bang, and it's been just one bang after the other. And I'm not saying that that's bad. My family and I have learned very successfully how to roll with where God is guiding us and taking us, and trusting him. My hand is hanging on tight to his. And if I can't grab his hand, I'm hanging on to his robe hem, and my feet are flaring behind me, and I'm praying I don't injure anybody. And that's kind of what it's like right now. It's really wild. It's really crazy. And it's also very amazing. It's like a wild and crazy, awesome adventure. We have the ability to look at that and say, oh my gosh, this is so scary. Or I could say, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Where are we going? And that's exactly what I'm doing. And that's exactly what I do. Because I want to see the good in life. I want to see the adventure. I don't want to be focused on, oh my gosh, my feet just got ripped out from under me. Where in the world am I going? What's going on? This is going to be so terrible. No, it's going to be so awesome. We have that choice. So I'm sharing this today, and I talked about it in our Bible study yesterday. We're all going through a lot of seasons. I sit in this beautiful seat right here where I get to watch so many amazing, beautiful, talented, skillful people also experiencing life. And, I am honored and privileged to sit in this seat and watch my clients and my community and also, be able to speak into their lives, and they speak into mine. This is a two-way street, and I'm very blessed in where God has been taking me. And this is something else I shared in the community on another post last night, that, I'm not meant to do this alone. God has guided me to this place so that I can share the goodness that I'm experiencing and help you to understand that you have the same option and ability right available to you. So I'm going to continue speaking, but I want to share with you guys or ask you guys, whether you're on YouTube or whether you are in the community. I've got both chats open. Amazingly enough, that is working. Share with me how I can pray for you. Share with me any praises or prayer requests in the chat, and share with me where you're at right now. Are you at the top of the roller coaster getting ready to just wildly go down with your hands in the air, your feet tucked, and screaming your head off? Or are you in the valley and struggling right now to come back up out of that place, feeling alone, needing a lift? Be transparent, be honest, because you're not alone. You're not alone. And if you get in my community right now, you will see so much transparency being shared. And, you know, we are given tests so that we have a testimony. If we sit on that, we're robbing other people of inspiration, because through our tests, other people watch and see how we pick up our mats and walk, how we grab our bootstraps and keep going. So I'm going to jump back while you guys are sharing with me in the chats. You read Ecclesiastes 3, and I'm going to read it to you today. And then I'm also going to figure out where I found Miss Laura's. Oh, you know what? I know how to find it. Maybe not. I'm going to find it though, because Laura shared something that was really powerful. That's actually going to end up in my next journal because it was so good. And it's so true. And I just want to find it really quick. Okay, she shared it in the regular community. All right, and then I'm going to read to you Ecclesiastes, because I think that it is really important. Miss Laura, I can't find it. Your beautiful post. She needs encouragement today, is what it was titled. I found it. You know, when we are honest with ourselves and we are willing to ask for help, you know, a lot of us, guilty. I was type A. I'm recovered. Yeah, I am recovered. You know, we are afraid to ask for help because we think that's a sign of weakness. But when we ask for help, that is a sign of deep courage. That takes guts. That takes courage to let people know that you're in a place of struggle, a place where you need help. You know, I view that so differently. So when I see people doing that, I am praising from the mountaintops, because when we do that, when people are willing to do that, the rest of the world can join in, huddle around them, lift them up, and support them. And you know, when you're surrounded by people that support you and love on you and cheer you on and pray for you when you can't even, you know, express those words, there's power in that. And that's, I know deep in my heart and in my soul, that is why God has led me to do what I'm doing. Because the world today doesn't have enough spaces where we can love on one another. And I think it's super important. So I'm going to jump back to that in a second. But what I want to do here is I'm going to read Ecclesiastes. And I know I'm all over the place today, but if you've only had an idea of the technology things that have been going on, I'm surprised that I'm not in a corner rocking, because it has just been so challenging. But you know what? I'm seeing the beauties around me and I'm ignoring these things. But it is definitely a challenge, and it is definitely hard to keep my head intact. But I'm doing all right. I feel like I'm doing all right. If you feel otherwise, that's okay. This is me, plain and simple, out of the box. This is what you get. All right. So Ecclesiastes 3, a time for everything. And this is important to think about. We go through seasons, guys. It doesn't last. When we're in it, it's hard. But know that there's another side. And if you keep looking at the light on the other side, and you keep noticing the goodness and the gratitude and the good things, the blessings that are happening while you're walking, and that light keeps getting bigger, it's so much easier. For everything, there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to cry and a time to laugh. Transparency, time to grieve and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to turn away. Laura, that was hysterical last night, by the way. I read that one. A time to search and a time to quit searching, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be quiet and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace, What do people really get for all their hard work? I have seen the burden God has placed on us all. Yet God has made everything beautiful for its own time. He has planted eternity in the human heart. But even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to end. So I conclude there is nothing better than to be happy and enjoy ourselves as long as we can. And people should eat and drink, enjoy the fruits of their labor for these are gifts from God. There are seasons, guys. It can be discouraging, it can be hard, it can be really unpleasant. But you know what? When you are surrounded by the right people, when you are walking through these seasons, there is great power there. And these ladies that are joining me today, I've got Deb and Laura joining me. They've been walking with me for a long time, 6, 8, 10 years. And, you know, it's not just them having me to support them. I know that when I need something, all I need to do is they're a text away, a message away in the community to lift me in prayer too. And, you know, I am not too proud to ask for help. As I said, it takes courage sometimes. Sometimes we're going through the raw and the real. And here's the other thing you need to realize. In the community, there's two spaces when you join that are at the top. Start here so you know how to maneuver and do things. The next one is prayer requests. Get in, ask for prayer, and know that you don't have to share the raw and the real and all the details. All you need to do is ask for unspoken prayer, and you will be supported so heavily. There is power there. So I asked these ladies to get in the chat, and anybody that's joining me on YouTube. So let's see here. Deb says she's on both YT and in the community Zooms. Laura says, praise for such an awesome place to work with God and produce food in my greenhouse and gardens. Amen to that. Amen to that. Look where she's at. Isn't that awesome? You know, and here's the thing. Miss Laura was flat on her back for like a week or more with a really nasty cold. And, you know, a greenhouse is warm and nurturing, lots of sun. She's grounding. She's in the earth, you know, blessings. And she's out. And that's a praise, you know, so much. Deb says every day is a different challenge for a variety of reasons. But getting through with his guidance, and so grateful for his faith-led living, healing, and learning community with Tammy and all here. We may have a little bit of noise here for a brief little bit, but it should be okay. We're improvising. And if I have to relocate, we'll relocate. Deb says, working on weight loss with healthy food choices and better outdoor exercise and climbing my stairs several times a day to get my heart rate up. Awesome. And like I've said many times, you know, heading in that direction, remember that we don't need to kill it. That all you need to do is just be consistent, bit by bit, little by little, keep moving every day, and you will. Oh, I don't have to yell. Sorry, I was screaming. Hopefully you could still hear me. And Deb says, also with faith-led living, healing, learning community has been so very encouraging, life-giving, and having others that care so much here. Awesome. Hi, Miss Mill's in the house. All right, we got Miss Mill in the house. She says, good morning, ladies, waiting for therapy. Surprised I get a signal. That's another praise God thing. Awesome. Awesome. And yes, Miss Laura is communicating with Mill, and she's happy that she joined us. I'm telling you, you won't find a better community of people. God is bringing us all together with great purpose. So Laura says, prayers for complete healing of lungs and body from this nasty head and chest cold. You couldn't be in a better place. You couldn't be in a better place right now. And Deb says, working on weight loss and extra good, healthy food choices and better exercise daily outside again. Awesome. Awesome. So with the seasons that we experience, let me see if I can find Miss Laura's words from this week. It was very, very awesome. This is not the one. I've got to find it where I was. I responded to her last night. I think I actually did a screenshot. Let me just double check, because I want to read this to you guys, because it's just, okay. I have to find it. Bear with me because this is important. I was really, I couldn't say it better, and I want to share it with you. Because I really want to highlight on this, because I know that there are other people that are struggling with this and dealing with these things. Here, maybe. Forgive me for the delay here and holding things up, but you'll understand why I am seeking this out, because it's really, really good. And let's see. Laura, do you know what I'm referring to? Can you like tag me in it if you know what I'm talking about? I had commented on it this morning. Okay, I think I found it. Nope, I didn't find it yet. It was the one where you mentioned that you haven't been out in a while. Here we go. I think maybe. Okay, I found it. I got it. Sorry. Okay, so as I said, transparency really enables us. You know, it's not even so much transparency, it's sharing our story, sharing life, sharing our experiences, because I think we are walked through those experiences to be able to inspire and encourage others. When we keep things to ourselves, you know, no one benefits from it. And in these circumstances, especially this one here, I really feel that God is shining through. God is very visible in what is going on in Laura's life, and in many of yours. So she says, "Forgive my absence. Strange weather is affecting my health more than I am willing to admit. I am experiencing a bit more fatigue and pain these days. It was raining this morning and I overslept, so I barely made it to the FLH Live today. In fact, I was a bit late. Then I decided to hang with Tammy Trayer for breath work instead of walking. Both are very good ways of self-care. During breath work today, Tammy asked God to reveal his desires to us 3 separate times, and this is what I received. 1, God says to be prepared to take advantage of the opportunities he is sending our way. Let God put his dreams in your path. Be ready to ask questions of people who may be able to show you new ways of thinking or reasoning that will lead to various ways around the obstacles. 2, God showed me the swimming area where I grew up and how the prize, the beach ball, was just outside the safe area, the area corded off for swimming. It is scary to go outside the safe zone. There are weeds there and mucky bottoms to stuck your feet in and not get out. But that's where our prizes are. Get out of your comfort zone. There are great adventures waiting just beyond your self-determined boundaries. 3, in our weakness, we will find his strength. When we do breath work, you get to a very still, quiet place. Most of us are racing through life and miss those things. And when you're in that still, quiet place, you have the opportunity to hear. And that's why I ask these questions in my breathwork sessions. So she says, though, this is the last thing that really stood out to me. Give yourself, all of it stood out, but this is important. Give yourself grace as often as you need to. It doesn't mean you're lazy, unmotivated, or not trying hard enough. Some days it's better to pull in closer to God and listen for his small, soft voice. Then rest in his presence. I will see you all back on the trail soon. Laura, thank you for your transparency. That was amazing, and amazing words spoken. And, you know, these are seasons. These are seasons. Some of our seasons may be a day or two. Some of our seasons may be a month or two. Some of our seasons may be a couple months. They may be a couple years. You know, I hope and pray that not too many people endure those 40 years in the wilderness, but they happen. And in our seasons, one of our most important things we have to do is pull into God. We need to grow our faith muscles. And why am I sharing all of this on a healing platform? because this couldn't be more healing. Learning to regulate our stress, learning that God is our source. When we know that He is our rock and our foundation and where it all begins, you know, we're all chasing life. We're all seeking something in life. Most people don't know what they're seeking because they're not finding it. They're still looking for that joy and that happiness and to fill that void. Guys, I've found it, and I'm preaching it because I want more people to love and live out of a space like I am. You know, I could say that the rug was ripped out from under my family and everything is upside down, because it is. But you know what? I feel like a monkey swinging from the trees and trying to get my bearings in that upside down setting. But it's Wyatt. You know, I trust him. I trust him so much because he is the one who diagnosed me when I was losing my life. He is the one who led me to a doctor. And this is all when the medical system failed me and laughed at me. And I could have just accepted that and gone to heaven. God had purpose for me still. And I was in tune with him. I praise God for that. And I want you to be in tune with him, because I trust him wholeheartedly with my life. How could I not? And because I trust him with my life, I trust him with my family's life. I trust him with everything that happens in my family's life. So everything stems from that foundation: my health, my healing, my life, my joy, my happiness, my peace, my comfort. All of those things stem from that one source. So if you're looking and seeking and trying to find goodness in your life and you're not sure which direction to look or how to find it, let me be the first to tell you, it starts with him. When you get in relationship with him, everything else comes full circle. It takes time. It's you know, for many people that are new to a relationship with God, they don't know which direction to go in or what it looks like. Here's the thing. All you need to do is pull closer to him, read his word, talk to him, you know, pray. What does prayer look like? Just what I'm doing with you. That's how I talk to God. If I'm not doing this, I'm writing a prayer in my journal. And you just keep going forward, knowing that someone is there all the time, will never leave you, will never forsake you, and will carry you when you can't move any further. Laura was being carried, and Laura used her transparency and her experience to share with you. I just want to share with you a little bit about what I responded back to her. One of the things she did is in the breath work is that she paused and she heard that still small voice. You know, I want to encourage all of you to pause in life and hear that still small voice. We need to pause in this rush and crazy world. You know, the world dictates a fast pace. That's the world. That's not a normal pace. It's not something that we have to do. And as she said, we shouldn't feel guilty or lazy or any of those things when we take a break and we pause. It's biblical. You know, Jesus steps away into the wilderness all the time when you read the Bible to pause and pray. So I want to encourage you guys to do that. And, you know, I told Laura, I'm proud of her for all the progress. You know, that's something that we neglect to look at. We neglect when we're in a season and in a valley and struggling to look at how far we've come. That's really important, because that's your growth meter. And you know, you're sitting in this place and you might be low and you might be thinking, you know, that you haven't come that far, but do a little reflecting, because oftentimes you will see just how far you've come. And that can be very empowering, very empowering. And as I said, Laura's quote is going to hit my new journal. That is very powerful. And I'm going to say it again. Give yourself grace as often as you need to. It doesn't mean you're lazy, unmotivated, or not trying hard enough. Some days it's better to pull in closer to God and listen for a small, soft voice. And I said, those right there are powerful words and one of the greatest lessons we can learn. Because I hear, and heard it yesterday, And I hear it every day. Everybody that I work with and even, you know, people within my life feel guilty for taking time for themselves. That's the most powerful thing we can do. We are supposed to take care of our temple, and people don't realize that one of the greatest ways we can do so is by resting, by taking care of ourselves, by slowing down, by pausing, by hearing that still small voice. And, you know, as I mentioned to her, I said, I know the place you're in very well. And I also know the way you are embracing it will enable you to step out again soon, rather than feeling guilty or deterred because you had a bit of a setback. Many times a setback is just a setup for more goodness that is ahead. So remember that. I'm going to pause for a second and let him pull in here. Then I'll finish talking. I'm going to jump off of here soon too, because we have breath work in 10 minutes. But, you know, bit by bit, step by step, a little becomes a lot. And we are the turtles, not the hare. You need to remember that in a healing journey, you know, everybody wants fast results, but that's not typically how it happens. And the slow results give us not only health and healing, but they give us growth and courage and strength and build us to be the people we are called to be. So if you are in a season, don't miss the goodness around you. Don't miss the lessons. Don't miss the growth opportunities. And don't be so prideful that you're afraid to be grown. I like when he rips the rug out. I like when he is molding and shaping me and calling me out, because he's building me to be more like him. We are called to be built into his image. And I want that. I want that for myself. So be humble, be humble. So again, Laura, I didn't mean to call you out today, but I'm proud of you. That is good stuff. And it was worth sharing. So for those of you that are joining on YouTube, you got a full hour because I forgot to shut it off, but that's okay. Now you know what we're doing every week when we are in our special access community. And I hope that you'll join us there as well as on YouTube. There's a lot more coming to you on YouTube, but there's a lot happening in our community, and I want to encourage you to get out there. And the next thing I do is breath work. I do a group breath work every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, forgive me. And the group sessions are very nurturing, as these ladies have shared, and it's very private. When you get on the group session with me, there will be a lot of people present, but you will only see and hear me. So it's very private still, but it is a group setting. And I always end my sessions with a prayer. So I just want to read real quick here. Deb says, I can remember the days for all my younger life that I felt I was cheating myself if I stopped and took a nap, right? Always thought I was to keep working from my upbringing of having to be productive, right? Exactly. We all believe that. We also believe that we had to work 24/7, 7 days a week. We're called to do a day of rest. You will find myself and my family napping on Sundays and enjoying our day of rest. We are called to do that. And I want to encourage you guys to do that. It's one of the healthiest things you can do, not only health for your health and healing, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as well. So thank you, Miss Laura. She says thumbs up, and so did Deb. All right, so I'm just going to end us on a prayer, and we're going to head over. For those of you that are interested in joining the breath work, you can go to faithledhealing.com/calendar. My calendar is quirky, and it won't let you join this close to today's session. However, plan for it for next week. You can join me on the YouTube live and then join us right into the community breathwork. And it's on my calendar. So faithledhealing.com/calendar. And let me just end us in prayer. Papa, I just thank you so much for this day. I thank you for your love, your mercy, your grace, your guidance, giving us and offering us wisdom, knowledge, direction, and discernment. And just your presence always, not only in our seasons and in our valleys, but through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we just praise you that you are constantly with us. You will never leave us or forsake us. Your love is deep and enduring. And I just pray that everyone that's watching the live and the replay, that they learn to know you if they don't. Wrap your loving arms around them, around our community, around Laura and Deb, and we just praise you for what you're doing in their lives. I just ask that you continue to help each of them to be able to reach their goals and to continue to touch their bodies with healing and renewal. And we just ask that you heal Laura's body from this cold. And thank you for her inspiring words and her transparency. And I ask that you just nurture the rest of our community to feel safe in being transparent and sharing their stories and sharing their goodness, not only in our community, but with the world around them, because today more than ever, we need your power and your strength and your love shining through each and every one of us and our cracks. We're all cracked vessels. We're all sinners. We're all struggling, but we also all have the light of Jesus shining through us. And I just pray that we can make the world bright. Just thank you for what you're doing here. Thank you for using me, always your words and not mine. And we just love you, and we ask all of this in your holy and precious name of Jesus. Amen. Okay, my dear friends, I'm going to jump off of here and jump right into our breathwork session shortly. Everybody gets a little bit of a potty break, so I will see you soon. I love you all. Thank you all for joining, and for those of you watching the replay, join us in the community. faithledhealing.com/community. You have options. If you can't afford to join our special access, you can join the free community and you will still gain lots of tidbits and lots of nurturing. We love you all. See you guys soon in the breathwork. God bless.